Hello, everybody, and welcome to Check-In Game 4 of the regular season. So we get you set for the Winnipeg Jets and San Jose Sharks tonight here at Canada Life Center. I am Sara Orlesky. He is Jaime Thomas. I stole that from you. Sorry.
Thank you. So I don't need to say it every week, though. So
everyone knows.
We have to know. We have to get that line across the bottom that says our names on there. So we'll talk to the producer about that another time, so that this is check-in. People know. Yeah. Although it does say our names in the corner.
Maybe we can come up with names or titles for each other for it. Anyways, this one, as we get started for today's show, really looking forward to it. A reminder for everyone that you can join us 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. If you're Joe Pascucci and you're watching in Ontario right now, we'd love to know where all of you are watching from. Make sure to join the chat now, but you can watch us on Facebook, X, and YouTube as well. And if for some reason you're not able to join us, you can still log on afterwards and as we get you set for the games.
Best part about check-in is that we get to interact with you, and more than happy to read your comments as we roll along here. Matt Hyman already. Thank you, Matt. Nice to hear from you as well. And Eric and Mayu, Bart as well. Big game tonight against the San Jose Sharks. Jets are 3-0. Fantastic start as they are playing so well defensively, but it is a special night as well. It's not every day you get to celebrate Connor Hellebuyck. I know it feels like
it should be.
I feel like we celebrate him all the time, but this is an authentic, official
That's right.
Connor Hellebuyck night, as you see him on the backdrop there, right behind Sarah's head there, the bobblehead. But they're handing out 5,000 banners.
First 5,000 fans get pennants.
Pennants, sorry. Banners, that's a bad term. So pennants. I used to have a lot of pennants in my bedroom growing up, but no pennants right now.
Which ones?
The Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay.
Calgary Flames.
I thought it would have been baseball or something.
Yeah, I didn't really. I just kept the hockey ones. That was early though. And of course I had my Steve Eisman poster up on the wall. So I lived good.
Okay.
Yeah, in my basement suite in my parents' basement.
All right.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I lived in my parents' basement until I was 21.
Well, that's fine. Lots of people do that. The pennants, though, when did those start going up?
I
had crisscross.
Crisscross. We dressed
90210.
This is another story, and we're not going to go off the rails here, but remind me on Halloween to tell you our crisscross story. Okay. When I got dressed up, we had the backwards jackets. I'll try and keep it PG, but it's like a fantastic story. So another time, let's save that one.
Okay, but it is Connor Hellebuyck night here at Canada Life Center. No surprise, he's getting the start, which was good because it'd be maybe a little bit awkward if he wasn't, but also very cool. The Vezina and the Jennings Trophy are here inside Canada Life Center. So if you're coming to the game tonight, you can get your pictures taken with them and be able to see them up close and personal. I really,
Josh Morrissey pointed this out today because JMO and Connor Hellebuyck basically came up through development camp and the Moose and so on and so forth around the same time. And he told the story about in his rookie year, just as Josh Morrissey telling the story today about, Hellebuyck got pulled. And then he said afterwards, my game is at a Vezina Trophy level. And he said everyone laughed at that point from the media, and the fans probably did a little bit too. And here we are, 2 Vezina trophies later, and probably more on the way.
Well, and Connor Hellebuyck spoke to the media yesterday, and he was asked about the opportunity for fans to be able to see the trophies, to be able to get their pictures taken with them. He said, I was thinking many people probably don't get a chance to touch it. I won it, and I didn't get the chance to touch it the first time. That was, of course, in COVID time, so he was not able to receive it. It took me a second time to finally get to hold it. So pretty cool to be able to see some of the names that are up there and obviously the history that goes along with it.
Yeah, the question was, is Chuck here? Chuck did make the trip.
Of course. International influencer. I ran into him this morning. He's very excited to be here. He always looks forward to coming in for Jets games and being able to interact. And he's certainly become a fan favorite over the last couple of years.
So the question of the day is to you, the people watching and listening. What do you appreciate the most about Connor Hellebuyck? And I know there's many ways we can go here, but more than happy to read off your comments. So question of the day, what do you appreciate the most about Connor Hellebuyck? A reminder that Dylan Samberg's interview with Sarah on the bench is coming up a little bit later in the show. And Drew Remenda, part of the television. Drew is a great energy guy. He'll be here to join us to talk about the Sharks at around 12:40. So make sure you do that. So taking a look at some of the quick comments about Connor Hellebuyck. His focus and mental health as a professional athlete. Melissa, that's an excellent answer about Connor Hellebuyck. And it's just, we've kind of joked about over the years, after the game, he'll say my details are right. And you know what? people kind of quaffed at the fact that he never really admits about bad goals or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that is, it's that confidence level that he has in himself that has made him such a great goaltender. It's just like nothing ever breaks him. Like that's the best part. And, I talked to Josh Morrissey again on on Ground Control, the podcast, and I asked him, is there anything that sets him off? And he said that they took away chocolate chip cookies on the plane. That made him mad. He goes, sometimes we ran
I've had the cookies before. They are very good cookies.
They like heat them up and bring them around. Yeah. So you can see why Connor Hellebuyck was mad about that one. So, and then on top of that, he said they were at a pizza in Edmonton the other day. That made him mad. So not very often you see Connor Hellebuyck lose,
I like that it
emotional on the ice.
I like that it relates to food, though. That can
it has to be.
It would be for me as well. I do like the comment, though, about mental health. Obviously, he has the book that he wrote trying to promote the importance of mental health for young children, very involved as well with Project 11 through the True North Youth Foundation. So it's great to see him be an advocate for that. But let's keep going. We've got about 4 minutes until Drew joins us. Mentioned the San Jose Sharks here in town. First of 3 meetings between these clubs. Sharks played last night. Now, this is the second game in a row in which the Jets benefit from having a team come in, having played the night before. That was the case previous game with Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah.
They came in. So San Jose playing last night in Chicago. They came up short 4-2. Jets, of course, undefeated so far this season. The Sharks are 0-2-2 so far.
Yeah. And San Jose, very similar to the Chicago Blackhawks, slowly rebuilding. And of course, got a great player first overall this year in Macklin Celebrini. That draft, of course, was in Las Vegas. Joe Thornton made the pick. It was a very memorable draft. But Macklin Celebrini will not be in the lineup tonight. He's already on injured reserve. But more than happy to ask Drew Remenda about this coming up at 12:40 about the impact that Macklin Celebrini has already, and if Celebrini mania has settled into the city of San Jose at this point.
Yeah, I don't know how it couldn't. There's got to be a lot of excitement. The first time that the Sharks have ever drafted first overall. So the Jets, as we continue to get you set up, they've had 4 days in between games. And so it feels a little bit as if training camp has continued on just with this break. It's so great to be able to have a lot to talk about. And by yesterday, Thursday, day 4, we're kind of doing okay, enough with practice. We're ready to see a game today. So here's what the lines are expected to be based on what we've seen off of practice, which I'm not sure. Do we have the ability? Maybe we don't. Do. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, our producer has taken that ability away from us to show the lines. So
okay. Well, then the great news for you is that the lines are remaining the same. Which when you have won 3 games, the Jets still, I think, will be the first to say that they haven't played necessarily at the level that they want to overall, but they have certainly been resilient. We've seen that it took until late in that game against Chicago. Same thing, obviously, overtime with Minnesota to be able to come up with the wins. But this is a team that is continuing to put up the points at the time when you need to.
The one thing I think we can appreciate about how well Winnipeg is playing right now is just that they've kept guys like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Kirill Kaprizov, Connor Bedard off the score sheet. That's the incredible part about this whole thing right now. And yes, the goals against are down low, but and that shows obviously with the 3 wins. But at this point, the way they're playing against the other team's elite players is really something that is standing out so far for me in the first 3 games.
Yeah, I like some of these comments. Hellebuyck is a rock. Best quality is how he just lets a bad goal game not get him down, brushes it off, keeps stopping pucks. Stopping pucks for sure. .976 save percentage so far, .66 goals against average. So obviously Vezina winning season last year and is just continuing on. He says that he feels as if he's in midseason form. The team as a whole, I think, is still obviously, as I mentioned, not in midseason form, but Connor Hellebuyck coming out of the gate.
Should we show some highlights of Connor Hellebuyck while we're talking here?
Why not?
Okay, I think so.
Brilliance has been on display since day 1.
This is the best of Connor Hellebuyck so far in his illustrious career.
The save by Hellebuyck! Stopped by Hellebuyck. Rebound over the far side. Another shot. Hellebuyck dove over and made the save on that as well.
Calgary Flames, but 2 Vezina trophies, and of course we'll be celebrating him here tonight as we move along on the big night for Connor Hellebuyck and the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, and I think that this will be the first of in all likelihood, a couple of nights that
Yeah.
we celebrate Connor Hellebuyck. Look, he's played his 500 games already, but he's 22 wins away from 300, 2 shutouts away from 40. And so when that happens, I think that we'll be looking at another big celebration, as that's the big milestone trifecta for a goaltender.
Yeah, I like how, thank you everybody for letting us know the video was overriding us. The audio was a little bit high on that one. So we've learned a lesson from that one. So obviously we will more than happy to bring in Drew Remenda, who's joining us on the show as our good friend Anna will bring in the color analyst of the San Jose Sharks. And there is the handsome devil himself, Drew Remenda, joining us from his luxury suite here in Winnipeg. Drew,
First off,
before we get going here,
first off,
you look great. Macklin Celebrini will not be in the lineup tonight, but has Macklin Celebrini mania settled into the city of San Jose?
he's getting settled in. And first off, hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Second, you two should know, you've known me for a long time now. You should know better than to send in technologically idiotic Luddite like myself something to put on my, I have to download. This has been so trying. I don't know if I can do the game.
Well,
We should have just asked you to walk over and join us.
Exactly.
well, you pulled it off, buddy. You pulled it off. So it's here we are.
Okay, thanks, gang. Appreciate that. Macklin is getting very acclimatized to the Bay Area, but he's already been in the Bay Area. He played for the Junior Sharks. I mean, this is his family lives 45 minutes north because, as we know, his dad is Rick Celebrini, director of high performance for the Warriors. Been that for a long time. They are from North Vancouver, but Macklin has lived in the Bay Area for a while, and now he gets to live with the Thornton family, Joe Thornton and his lovely family. So he is maybe it's just the fact I'm just getting as old as I am, but he's just a baby. I mean,
Yeah.
he just turned 18. I remember when Patrick Marleau did it. You know, Patrick went 17 to 18, and then he came and played for a very different coach in Daryl Sutter, very different team, and from guys from Owen Nolan to Tony Granato to Vincent Dumfus, guys like that, a lot of veterans around him. Macklin's going to do some growing up, but I think the interesting thing with Macklin, guys, is that because of his father's position, and his father is, if people don't know, he is director of high performance. He's one of the best in the world at getting the most out of an athlete, not only physically, but mentally. And he's been doing that with the Warriors the last number of years. World champions, some of the greatest players we've seen in our generation anyway, when you look at, you know, Steph Curry and Draymond Green, who's very close to the family, and Klay Thompson, et cetera, et cetera. And Macklin's been around those guys. And he's also had a father who's been able to say to him when necessary, hey, check that out. See, this is why they're doing that. So he's a very mature young man. And he is a guy that, one game, right? But also in the preseason, some early returns on him is that he could be very dynamic and could be that cornerstone for the San Jose Sharks.
Well, I think there's so much excitement, disappointment here in Winnipeg that we don't get to see him up close and personal in this game here tonight, but hopefully in one of the other games when these teams meet up for 2 more times this season. What can you tell us beyond, though, Macklin, or what can you tell us about this Sharks team overall compared to what we saw last season?
There is no comparison, sir. There is none. The only thing I would say is, listen, I was part of the coaching staff of the San Jose Sharks when we first started that lost 100 games quicker than anybody in the history of the National Hockey League. I got that record going for me, which is nice.
Congratulations. We'll take you up for later.
I appreciate that. Yeah. See if anybody's going to beat that. I doubt it. This year.
Beat that, everybody.
Could be a reason I'm a broadcaster now. So when you look at the Sharks last year, there was not a lot of, well, there wasn't any. There was very little belief in the team, in each other, in what was going to be able to be accomplished, if anything was accomplished. There wasn't any real strong belief system within the team. And it happens when you lose games. And, that in the 92-93 season, we lost 71 games that year, 11-71-2. You Yeah, exactly.
As a broadcaster, that would be a
that'd be a really challenging team to cover, Drew.
Yeah, it's a challenging team to coach. How much video do you think they really wanted to watch of themselves, right? So there is no belief system. Todd McClellan, who coached the Sharks and of course LA and such a great coach, he talks a lot about belief system, is that you have to believe in the guy next to you. Now in 93, 94, we moved into the new building in San Jose. We changed the team completely. And those guys were veteran players, little chip on the shoulder, had some young guys around, but they started to believe in each other. And I think you've seen this at training camp. Now you've got Celebrini, you've got Smith, you've got Thrun, you've got Eklund, you've got some young guys there. But then you bring in Tyler Toffoli. You guys know Tyler. I had him briefly last year with the Winnipeg Jets. You bring in Jake Wallman. You bring in Wenberg. You've got Delandria. You've got Barclay Goodrow, Stanley Cup champion. So you've got some Stanley Cup champions in. You've got some guys who are trying to show and mentor the young guys. This is what you have to do. And to 1, prepare. 2, play. 3, reset and continue to do it both mentally and physically. So there is a big sense of optimism around the team. The energy is different. With the exception of last night's game, this team has been fun to cover so far because they played with high energy. They've been physical. And really, in the first 3 games, they were leading all those games. Leading 2 of the 3. Played Dallas, one of the best teams in the league, like the Jets. Head-to-head, really competitive, really physical. They've got a lot of good pieces in place. Now it's trying to build on that. There's a long way to go. And you guys know as well as I do, it's never linear, right? It's never just going to, it's going to be ups and downs. It's the stock market. Just don't stay down too long.
One thing we've seen over the years, Drew, a lot of it, certainly in the last 3, is as tough as it's been for San Jose in the regular season, they have always played the Jets tough. And it's, James Reimer, goalie of the Jets one time, Kaapo Kähkönen had some success against them. What can you tell us about the Sharks goaltending tandem this year?
Well, you know what? Even last year, goaltending wasn't the issue. It's the way the team played in front of them. Now they're not going to throw Connor Hellebuyck numbers at you. Nobody does. That's why I don't like Canada's chances in the Four Nations Cup. Right? I mean, geez.
I know.
Oh, their backup Swayman and then Ottinger.
I know.
Anyway, we talk about that another day. that
terrifying chills.
Yeah, sorry. So these two guys were number 1 goaltenders at one time in New Jersey. Blackwell first, then Vanacek. Vanacek 2 years ago won 33 games. Goaltending is no problem for the Sharks. Right now, they played very, very well. They worked extremely hard. They're close to each other. Mackenzie Blackwood's perfect for this position. As we know, and we don't like to say it publicly, goalies are a little weird, right? Hey, I had 2 in my family. My father and my big brother were goalies, and they're just off. Who would want to play goal? But they do. Anyway, Mackenzie's a little bit off, and he's fun that way. And he's perfect for this team because every once in a while when the losses mount up, and there's not many, it's not as bad as it was last year. We didn't win in October at all. That he keeps it loose, but boy, he works. And Vanacek is so bubbly and upbeat and strong mentally that the goaltending for the San Jose Sharks is not going to be an issue this year. I'm very confident in saying that. It's, can you play better in front of them? Can you limit the chances you give up, especially those A-plus chances? Can you spend less time in the defensive zone, which Ryan Warsofsky has changed the defensive zone coverage scheme and what they're doing, and they're killing plays earlier and getting out of the zone quicker. Last year, you guys watched us. How much time did we spend in our zone last year as the Jets were just, just cycle and control the puck. They're trying to make sure they limit that this year. And so far they've done a pretty good job with it.
Well, you did a pretty good job, and more than happy to tell you we have a plaque for you. I lost 70 games in the National Hockey League. I'll present it to you tonight before the game. Thanks for coming on.
Is that after Hellebuyck gets the?
That's right after Hellebuyck at center ice.
Good, thank you. Appreciate that, gang.
See you, buddy.
See you night.
Thanks so much. Drew's such a great storyteller. I always love, he does radio as well in Saskatchewan. And he's always a ton of fun to be able to talk to. One of the things, a couple of things quickly that he had mentioned that I really like, the fact that Macklin is living with Joe Thornton. I mean, what a person. And plus, I like that Joe, obviously incredibly competitive, but also has that fun side of him as well, which I think that balance can be really good. And then when he spoke about the changes that have been made, be on the defensive side of the game, and just overall how this Sharks team is very different than what we saw last year. I mean, it's the things they think we're going to have to watch out for. Scott Arniel said this morning, he talked about respecting your opponent, and that this is a game in which they have to go in as the Jets and take this game away from the Sharks. This obviously nothing is ever given in this league, but this is one in which you really need to go kind of assert your dominance to be able to have success against the Sharks team.
Especially with Winnipeg having not played since Sunday too, so maybe a little bit of rust to start off, but they practiced enough and talked about this game enough, not watched enough video that hopefully that does not happen. So as always for home games, you want to say something before we
I just want to say that I did see that someone, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure as I try to quickly scroll up here who it is that asked about if they're wearing the Heritage jerseys. They are tonight. Beautiful. It's always one of my favorite ones. First of 12 times this season that we will see them, and wearing the Heritage hoodie that always gets a lot of attention as well, was Dylan Samberg just a short while ago, who I caught up with. And at the end of training camp, I think so many of us said, oh, we're so happy that regular season is upon us. And then you guys have a 4-day break. How happy are you to be back playing a game tonight?
Very happy, yeah. It's it was a little bit weird. Kind of felt like training camp all over again.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a real grind where you're playing every other day. But this is where the fun starts.
When you look at the 4-day break, 3 practices in there, what is it that was emphasized over that stretch?
I think we were just really honing in on our neutral zone, offensive stuff, defensive stuff, just taking each day by day, and special teams and whatnot. Just this is one of the few times we're going to have that much time to practice. So just hone in on every little asset of our offense and defense.
You've had a great opportunity to start this season. You're up that second pairing with Neil Pionk. For yourself, when you look at the added responsibility, the added extra ice time for you compared to last season, what is it that stands out most to you about your game through the first 3 games?
I feel more confident out there, especially when you're playing more minutes. You're more involved, feel more involved in the game, and plus it's fun. You get to get out there more, and that part's awesome. Neil's been a great partner. I feel like we've been playing well together and communicating well, and it's been going good for us. Communication is so important, especially with D pairs. The history that you have with Neil going back forever, it feels like. How much does that help? Helps a lot, yeah. I grew up around not so much Neil, but a lot of his brothers. Yeah. So I knew that family from when I was a little kid. Yeah. So our parents are very good friends as well. So that makes it a lot easier. What do you know about this San Jose team that played last night, obviously coming into tonight, but has some new faces? Yeah, no, they definitely got some. Picked up some new faces. A lot of younger guys, a lot of guys with more experience, and. They're a good team. Obviously, they're coming off a back-to-back or a game last night, but for us, I think it's just focusing on that first period. Good luck tonight. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I muted. There we go. Say it again. I muted you on purpose.
It doesn't surprise me at all. I'm surprised it took until 12:53 for it to happen. That's right. Yeah. The first of many, I'm sure. I was just saying that love Dylan Samberg. I mean, he's such a great guy. Has a great sense of humor, as well as a lot of fun from a content perspective. Is always willing to do stuff with, whether it be guys with TikTok or various requests that we have. So
he's the go-to guy in some ways, what you're saying?
He can be. Yeah, he absolutely can be. You know what I'm loving too is when looking in this, all of the different comments that are in here. I love that some people are saying that they would love to go to a game. They don't have anyone to go to. And we've got a bunch of conversations going, we're going to this game. You should grab a ticket. Yeah. We're going to be in this section. So one of the benefits as well is not only hopefully can we get you set up for the game, can we get you excited and prepped for each and every Winnipeg Jets game, but maybe we can create some new friendships here.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good fan base here, as always. And we should also point out, so Connor Hellebuyck night, Winnipeg Jets taking on the San Jose Sharks, hoping to go to 4-0, but the homestand will continue on Sunday as we'll check in. We're going to have a special time of 10:30 because it's Brian Little night. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Brian Little afternoon.
Yeah.
Really. It's a 2 p.m. game.
Yeah. So Brian Little afternoon. So that's why we're coming a little bit earlier than normal, and we'll have some great content for you as Brian Little comes to town, and we get to celebrate his greatness and everything he's done for this organization. I just can't wait to see all the players getting to see Litz again. It's going to be really great. And one thing, obviously you've done this a bunch of times when you talk to the behind the scenes staff, the medical staff, training staff, just talk about how he was a low maintenance superstar. And we'll get to pump Brian's tires quite a bit on Sunday,
which is great. And I think we've discussed it before in a previous show, is just saying that, unfortunately with the way that things ended, and not being able to close out his career the way that he would have wanted to, for fans to be able to have that opportunity to show how much they appreciated him is great. You're going to have the opportunity to speak to him, which would be great, I think, for maybe ground control coming up.
Yeah. So Saturday night we'll get to do sit down with him again, just basically about everything that he's done and what this night will mean to him. A special moment coming up for that one. So make sure you check that out Sunday morning. And of course, I'll sit down with Brian for ground control. The next podcast will be coming out November 1st.
And if you haven't watched it, Jamie just released the ground control with Josh Morrissey, which was a great one as well. So talks about a variety of things, including how we will never see him while he is part of a restaurant. We will not see him cooking back there. And that's apparently very good news.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, I think he should have did that secret boss thing where he just pretended before people knew he was the boss. That would have been good.
That would have been good for it. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you need in order to be able to get you set up for this game. Again, first of 3 meetings between the clubs. Connor Hellebuyck is in net tonight. No changes to the lineup. One quick note, although he's not in the lineup, a positive sign over these last 4 days is that Logan Stanley is back skating. There's still no update on Billy Hainala. He is not on the ice yet, but working towards that all the time. We'll see him out on the ice just in sneakers, working on puck handling skills at the end of some of the practices. But a positive step to be able to see Logan Stanley not only progress or not only be in the non-contact jersey just for 1 day and then back to practicing. So a great sign.
On behalf of Drew Remenda and Dylan Samberg, she's Sara Orlesky Jaime Thomas. Thanks for watching Check-In. We'll see you on Sunday morning.